Hello, this is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. The All India Football Federation President Kalyan Chaubey spoke with the news agency PTI about the current state of the ISL and all the things around it, and made some interesting comments, I would say, on one side, some bizarre comments on the other, some even logical, but again, in the whole context of the situation, not helpful. As the president of the AIFF, I expect someone to lead, to bring the stakeholders together, to work towards finding a solution. And that is where Kalyan, in his position, is needed to do his part. In the PTI interview, there are a few passages. When you read them, when you hear them, when you think about them, it says a lot about Kalyan Chaubey as a president and Kalyan Chaubey as a person. The first key quote of that interview is, "It is true that we're going through crisis for which we are not responsible. Some self-claimed reformers with vested interest have created this situation. I believe by the grace of God, we will collectively be able to tide over this crisis." The self-proclaimed reformers point, yeah, it's true. But they are not responsible for the situation is also not true. Because without those self-proclaimed reformers who had gone to the Supreme Court to change the leadership of the AIFF and the constitution of the AIFF, Kalyan Chaubey wouldn't be where he is. Let's start with that. But secondly, and I've said this now multiple times on my channel here, that the AIFF could have started conversations, negotiations with FSDL and or Reliance in the summer of 2023. At that time, things looked hunky-dory. They look good. They look great. Indian football was supposedly moving in the right direction. But at that time, Kalyan Chaubey and his then secretary were talking about the AIFF needs a yearly budget of 500 crores. Okay. No one would mind that. How do you generate it? They've not been able to get anyone big on board to try and sort things out, to potentially be a replacement for Reliance if they did not want to continue with the Master's Right Agreement. On the other side, if you listen to the interview, he's surprised that the clubs who actually pressed him on the 7th, "Sir, Mr. Chaubey, Kalyan, go to the Supreme Court and ask for an injunction in the interest of the Indian Super League." He didn't do that. He didn't speak about it. And he's surprised that the next day, 11 of the 13 ISL clubs sent that letter. Right? It is incredible to see such a lack of introspection, accountability, and understanding that the AIFF, hey, we didn't do any mistakes. Everybody else is doing mistakes. That's why we are in the situation we are in. Sorry, then you're not qualified to sit on that chair. Let's be very, very clear, very, very blunt about it. If you are not willing to stand up and say, you know what, yeah, we made mistakes, who's taking you seriously? I know from a number of clubs that they're not taking the AIFF president seriously. When he says, oh, you know what, we could, if the ISL doesn't happen or whatever, we will create a new league, all options are on the table and we see, and let's see. And it's a, I think the problem is that when you put people in power, or they come to power in the way they did, thanks to those self-proclaimed reformers, this is the end product. We need professionals. We need people who understand administration, sports, governance to run our All India Football Federation. Otherwise, this will sadly continue. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? You've got something to add? Write those things down in the comments below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.